Hey, Superwoman. Per usual, I've got me an incredible Superwoman here to share her Superwoman story. And this Superwoman is actually a friend. Every Superwoman that I have in come and share with us is not one of my friends. But this is one of my friends, right? And I'm super excited about having her here because as much as I love the Superwoman, she doesn't call women, so to speak, Superwoman. But she has a tribe of women, and she's just all about helping women get where they gotta be. And that's what I love so much about her. And she's going to talk about her overcoming her adversity, facing her challenges. She's going to talk about a little bit about her business, all of that good stuff. But I'm gonna stop talking and I want to say hi, Pam.
Hi, everybody. Super women. Hey,
Oh, I'm super excited to have you here, of course.
I'm
Not just
excited
because you're
to
my
be
friend.
here.
Yeah, not just because you're my friend, but because of me knowing some of your story, I want to ask you, Pam, who are you? Like,
That's a loaded question.
I get that answer every single
Oh
time.
my goodness. Getting down to the meat of it, who am I? I am definitely an overcomer.
Yeah.
Like looking back just over my life, the things that I have been faced with and the things that I've had to endure oftentimes, just me by myself.
Hmm.
I am definitely an overcomer. I have college degrees. I have had several businesses. I have a wonderful husband. But my most valued achievement, if anybody would ask me, is being a mom, watching my children grow and prosper. That is like my,
Yeah, that's definitely something that we have in common. Like that single mom struggle and eat and surviving it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Surviving single motherhood.
yeah.
And I remember at one point my daughter, she was saying to me, like, she would just get a sperm donor and have her child. I was like, honey, listen, no. I may have made it look like it was a breeze. I don't even know how it looked that way because she's seen some of our adversities, right? Single parenting, nah, I wouldn't wish that on my enemy. I like nah, nah.
No,
And it's
definitely not. And of course, like I'm pretty sure nobody planned it that way.
right.
And but you do what you have to do,
You
and
do what you
and in the
gotta
back of my mind, like, okay, God, I don't have time to blame him for not being here. I don't have time to blame me for choosing him, not
do. Right.
vetting my sperm donor better. I need you to show me what to do. Because you
Yeah.
bless me with these children, I have a job to do. And that is my most important job. So I need them to be better than me. I needed them to go further than, like I don't want a mini me. I want a better version of who I am. So
That-
just watch looking at my daughter right now. I'll be like, God, I don't know what I did to deserve this angel, but thank you. And
But thank you. Right.
thank you, Father, because I was young. I was
Right.
clueless. It just came to a point where I'm like, God, you got to teach me. You've got to show me what to do. And I didn't get it perfect, you know.
Right.
I didn't dot every I and cross every T, but I did the best I knew to do. And but I remained teachable along the way.
And the importance of it, them being a better version of you. Everything that I'm not right now in my life is because I was making sure that you were right, that you were able to stand on my shoulders. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I didn't accomplish, it doesn't minimize my power. It doesn't minimize my accomplishments, because my greatest accomplishment was my daughter breaking these generational curses, my daughter living life way above where I was when I was 22 years old, even though she's older than 22 now. When I was 22 years old, I was depressed. I was suicidal. I was on welfare. I was a college dropout. You understand what I'm saying? 22 years old. My chick was traveling around the world.
Yeah.
She was about to graduate from college and she hadn't graduated already. I prayed and said, God, teach me how to be a mother, right? Because I didn't have that example. My mother abandoned me when I was, a kid. And so I didn't have that example. And so I was figuring it out as I went along. So like you said, yes, doing the best that I knew, right? But it progressed from teach me how to be a mother to teach me how to be the mother she needs me to be. Right. And that's a different, listen, that's a whole nother level right there. Right. It's so interesting that who you are as a mom, it spills over into who you are as a mentor and as a business owner. I think it's dope. Like I absolutely think it's dope what you're doing for sure.
I love people. It's crazy. Like I could just like, I need some downtime. So I'm gonna go sit in the park. And women would just come and sit and me, hi, how are you? And they would actually tell me how they are or what they're going through. Just like, okay, when people ask me, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. And I keep going.
Right.
Like I couldn't, the more I tried to run from it, the more I came in and I'm like, God, what is going on? Because you know me. I don't like people. I live loud and in people's faces to an extent, but in my personal life, I'm very private.
Right.
And so I found myself like giving people I don't even know advice. And then it evolved into using my own trials and tribulations, or what I felt like were trials and tribulations, then to give other people hope. I remember one time, the first time I got bold enough to post something that I had endured on Facebook. And so a friend of mine was blowing me up, like, why did you do that? Why did you put your business out there? You don't have to. And I was like, listen, I dealt with a lot of stuff for years and years and years because I felt like I was the only one going through it. I felt ashamed. I felt like what I dealt with was my fault. And somebody else, a stranger, opening up to me, being transparent, helped me to heal.
Right.
Now it's my turn to pay it forward. So if people knowing some of the things I've dealt with or some of the things I've endured, if it helps them, if nothing else for them to realize, to give them a little bit more hope to keep fighting, I'll do it.
Right.
It's the price to pay, and it's rewarding, too. But it comes with a lot, like even with in my business group, we do talk about it Tuesdays. And another thing I never planned, it just happened, like customers were reaching out to me and they weren't asking about products. They were asking for advice on personal situations, careers, things, parenting stuff, relationship stuff. And so I speak a lot of they were like mirroring one another. So I'm like, you know what? I could type it out because I'm not a public speaker. Like every Tuesday, and I stopped for about 2 months because it's very draining.
Right.
It's a lot of yourself to pour into other people and to allow them into your personal life. And so I stopped, and the Holy Spirit was dealing with me. And I was like, I ain't doing it. I can't do it because, like, say we do it at 5, I've got to shut down about 3. And I've got to get my mind there and drink my coffee and pace the floor for about an hour. and it's crazy because initially I would try to prepare what I was going to say. So now I'm like, okay, Father.
What we talking about?
You got to give me the words.
Yes.
And it's just crazy. And we did the first couple, and the feedback was like astronomical. Like, oh my God, I needed this. And thank you so much. And it helped me. And me, if I would have, I just want to like type the answers out, that's easier for me and just make posts. I'm like, just being honest, ain't nobody reading. Nobody's reading. So, okay, this is how we're going to do it. In this way, I can answer 10 people's questions all at once.
Uh-huh.
And it reminded me of when I was in school, like, I didn't want to be the one that asked the question. So somebody else would ask the question, and you see everybody else writing down the notes. So I'm like, if 10 people ask the same question, there's probably 100 people that want the answer.
Right.
And that's how that started. And anyway, but yeah, it's a lot because I am not, nobody believes me. I am super bashful. I do not do public speaking. I don't do the live and the videos. Like, I'll go live and put the camera on you and be in the background because that's how I prefer to live. Like, just in the background, the silent partner, the silent cheerleader. Yay, go you. But when the spotlight's on me, it's like,
Girl, I had no clue that our conversation was going to go in this direction. However, God is using you once again, because one of the things that I always say is that whatever God says, he confirms, right? I had this love for the Superwoman, and people would be telling me that I needed to be out there. I needed to be out there. I needed to be out there, right? And I had started my money mindset coaching. And I was on the incline with that for sure. But here's something that a lot of people don't know. Girl, I was on panels. I was a guest featured speaker. I was on people's radio shows. I had weekly segments on people's radios, on their, whatever it's called, all of those things. And I was just throwing it out there because these people asked me to do it. And because my coach at the time was saying, okay, you need to be out there, all of those things. But the truth was, I didn't want to be out there, right? I didn't want to be out there. And so because I didn't want to be out there, I was really just going through the motions. I had no expectations of growth or whatever. All I knew was just that I wanted to share this stuff with these women. That's all I knew. I didn't want to be in the spotlight, like you said. I love playing the background. And that goes back to our parenting, right? Like, my daughter's greatness, it speaks volumes. But it was just kind of like, to me, that's my greatness. Not that I'm living vicariously through her, but it's just like, that's what I poured my energy into. Right. I spotlighted her. And that's what I wanted to do with women. Just spotlight them, put them in the spotlight. I don't need it. I don't even want it. And that's the introverted side of me, right? And nobody believes that there's this introverted side of me because of my personality, right? Because when I turn up, I'm up. Like, but like you said, when I'm pouring out, it's draining. It's so draining. And people don't understand how difficult it is for me, what I call to come outside and play. Because you were saying, like, I don't like people. It's just like, I call them humans. It's just like, oh, humans. Like, I'm going to be over here. I'm going to let the humans be over there. But full circle, I was just putting out like memes and stuff like that, whatever, because my thing was, as long as I'm putting out something that will encourage or challenge the Superwoman in her thinking, that kind of thing, I'm good. But God was just like, Superwoman Transformation Academy. I'm like, what? Whoa. Like, what?
Who you talking to? Right?
Like, okay. And girl, can I tell you, he put this on my heart over a year ago, and I've been building myself up to it. I'm actually going to physically launch the Transformation Academy in the end of April. However, I had to get to that place because one of the things, it was the commitment. It was never about fear for me, because I don't have a fear of speaking or, all those kind of things. I don't have that. It was the commitment, because I know that if I'm overwhelmed, I'm going to shut down. Yes. I know that if it becomes too much in the draining or whatever, I'm going to shut down. I know that about myself. So I had to develop. I had to get myself together on the inside so that I would be able to handle this type of increase and this responsibility. And so, in you saying everything that you said, it's the confirmation for me that, yeah, I know you want to be in the background, Ray. I know you just want to spotlight these women. And that was also the reason why I started doing Superwoman Wednesday, to spotlight other women, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I know you want to spotlight other people, but girl, I want you to bring these superwomen into one place, create this safe space for them to be able to be heard, to be understood, this space where they can heal, where they can grow, where they can develop. And I'm going to pour it into you so you can pour it into them. And the beautiful part to me is the safety of the community, is that the women get to take everything that I've shared with them and work with it amongst themselves. Like, you know what I mean? And that would keep me from being drained, because they're not always pulling me, they have each other. And I was just kind of like, okay. I was very reluctant. I was dragging my feet. And I was like, okay. And I didn't even want to launch it in April, but I've been saying it out loud to people to hold myself accountable to make it happen. So, no, this wasn't a shameless plug for the Superwoman Transformation Academy. This was me putting myself out there so that I could be held accountable and I couldn't backtrack, right?
Right.
I want to say thank you, but at the same time, I want to throat punch you, because it's like, oh, when you can't hide no more, right?
You can. And I mean, if you just look at once you find out who you really are, we are lights. How can a light do anything in the background?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just not possible.
It's not possible.
The best thing to do is, and that's me now, just go with it. Because you can hide for a little while, but it'll keep coming back. It'll keep coming back.
Exactly.
And then anything else you do outside of what you're purposed to do, you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna be overwhelmed because you're not where you're supposed to be operating in your purpose.
Exactly.
So I just embrace it. When I go out, like in the mornings, I get up and I pray, because I know it's coming. So prepare me, you know, give me the energy and the strength, and I make sure I have those mirror moments with myself and my prayer every day when I go out, that God put somebody in my path, or I get in their path, to tell at minimum one person about who you are, about life, not about my church or my pastor, but about who God is and what he's done for me.
I agree 100%. That's like how when I was in my sunken place and I was dealing with trauma and healing and doing my inner work, one of the things that I had decided on when I had come out of that was that I was, flaws and all, I was just going to be me. And a part of one of my flaws, as some would say, I don't see it as a flaw, but some would say that, my use of profanity. And what's crazy is I hadn't used profanity in like 20 something years, because of my Christian walk. And when my dad was going through his dying process, like these F-bombs and all other kinds of cuss words started coming from the city of my soul, right? And I was just like, at first it was weird to me. I was just like, where is it coming from? You've been delivered. Like that ain't Christ like. You can't be cussing and talking God at the same time. It didn't go away. Right. And so it was just kind of like I made a decision that wasn't nobody going to air me out. I was going to be me out here period. Like you was going to see some of my hood, you was going to see some of my professionalism, you were going to see me cussing, you was going to see me, in a good mood, you were going to see me in a bad mood, all of it. I'm not walking on eggshells for anyone. Like, what I mean? I'm not doing it no more. I'm not being confined by the constructs, whether it's religious, whether it's societal, none of that BS. It was just kind of like, listen, I'm being me, I'm doing me. Either you vibe with me or you don't. Either way, I'm okay with it, right? And that's how Cussing Christian started, because it was just to encourage people, like you said, listen, regardless of whether you cut somebody out today, regardless of whether you drank some beer today, I don't drink, but maybe you do, and it's just like, whatever, go have a conversation with God, because it's about the relationship, right? And so
definitely,
I found that I've got these, I like to call them divisions. I've got these 3 different divisions, or 3 different children, as I would call them, right? So I've got my spiritual division. That's an aspect of me that speaks to, Christians for sure, but people who just want to have a relationship with God. And then there's the mental and emotional part, where which is the superwoman, right? Where it was just kind of like encouraging her to deal with the issue, the matters of her heart, the issues of her heart, and that's going on in her soul. And then there's the legal aspect, the business aspect, where it's to protect who and what she loves. Out here building this thing, growing this thing, and it's just kind of like protected. Like, come on, you can't leave any of this to chance. But anyway, I'm getting off of that soapbox. But my point is, those are the 3 different divisions. I can't talk about legal stuff when I'm talking to you about the matters of your heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. And then I don't want to necessarily talk about the constructs of religion when I'm talking to you about the matters of your heart. So I've got these 3 different divisions going on, but Cussing Christian was speaking specifically to what you were just talking about. My obedience to God is not out of legalism. It's not out of, a fear that he's going to knock me upside my head, or he's going to make my child crash into a tree or whatever to teach me a lesson. Right. My obedience to God comes out of my reverence, my appreciation of our relationship, because it's the word that says it's the goodness of God that causes us to repent, right? So if God's being good to me and he's loving on me and showing me that, I'm valuable to him and that I matter, I just want to cooperate. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be like, okay, this is what you want me to do. I know you telling me this with my best interest in mind. Right. That's why I obey God, not because I think he about to knock me upside my head, right?
People think kids aren't paying attention.
Right.
But they do.
They do.
And I'm gonna say, as young as 7, 8 years old, in my mind, I was like, this is not God. He's not even here. And as I got into my teenagers, I would say to myself, if this is all there is to being a child of God, I want no parts.
Miss me. Girl, come on through here.
I eventually went to a church, and the pastor preached a message, and the crazy part about it, I cannot remember the specific message, but something he said in the message was that you have to study. He said, don't take my word for it.
Yeah.
Go home, get your Bible, read these scriptures, meditate the scriptures, and get it for yourself. So that's what I start doing. And the more and more I'm sitting there like, that ain't what God said. That ain't in the Bible. What is going on here? And so for a lot of years, I stopped. I'm not going to church. I don't want that. That's not what Jesus was about. And I read and I read and I read. I would go out on the witnessing team, and they would be like, come to my church, come to my church, come to my church, come to my church. I never saw Jesus invite anybody to his church. He ministered to their needs right then and there.
Right then and there.
And we're supposed to do that too. Little Christian like Christ, before they took the word and turned it to a religious entity. We're supposed to be like him. We're saying you got to do this, and you got to be broke, and you got to be sick, and you got to be poor. That is not what my Bible, my God, has taught me. Like, I don't know where it came from, all this man-made stuff, but they can have it if they're happy there. If you want to remain blissfully ignorant, do it over there. I'm not here to judge, but I'm gonna be quiet because there I go again.
No, that was powerful, and it segues right into my next question, which is about your business. One of the things that I love about you is that and what you do is that you bring your relationship with God into your business. And I know, like, many people, I can give less than a damn about a political party. Okay, if we could be completely honest. And so when people see me making posts, unfortunately, it's been a lot of stuff on the right that a lot of stuff had to be called out. Like, you know what I'm saying? What I care about is justice. I don't care about politics, those kind of things, whatever. So people would be like, oh, well, you can't talk politics. And I was like, watch me. Like, I was like, because my deal is I want to attract people who vibe with me. And if you can sit on the fence and watch injustice and unfairness, I don't want you around me. I don't care. I don't care whether I don't need your business. You understand what I'm saying? God has blessed me tremendously. Okay. Amen. Every time I turn around, I'm living in a gated community. You heard me? Whatever. And that's without the support of people don't care about justice and fairness and the proper treatment of people. And it goes back to what you were saying. You handle people the way that God handles people. You see people the way God sees people. And that's how I see people too. And so when I see some unjustness, some unfairness, I have to speak on it. I got to stand on my tens, right? And say, like, hold up. That's foul. Like, no, that's not okay. And you don't have to agree with me, but respect the fact that this is where I stand on it. And and then don't come talking no reckless craziness or whatever, because like I said, you will see. Listen, okay, listen. You got me on my soapbox now, and I'm dropping it. We're gonna talk about your business. You talked about how they painted this picture of Jesus, right? Jesus was a shade thrower. He invented shade throwing, and I don't care what nobody got to say about it. You heard me? Listen, when Jesus was dealing with the people, he was compassionate, he was kind, he was gentle, he was healing, he was what they needed him to be, right? But when he was dealing with them Pharisees and them Sadducees, child,
folks,
listen, he was like, chop, 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 chop. Okay? He called them people vipers. In my opinion, and I know this is going to wig some people out, but in my opinion, he wasn't like, you vipers, please don't be, it's not of God to be a viper. No, he was just like, you viper. You snake. I could imagine his facial expression when he was saying that. And in my opinion, and it's just my opinion because I can't prove it, but him calling them a viper back in that time is the equivalent to me calling somebody an asshole in this time. You heard me? And that's how I feel about it. He dealt with the people who needed him in one way. He dealt with the people who attacked him in another. Like I said, in one of my memes or something, Jesus flipped tables. Okay. He was flipping tables. For the Father, he was just like this, very serene. When he got in front of them people who was showing out, he was like, oh, you want to show out? I'm not calling this over.
Exactly. And I tell people all the time, like, being a child of God does not equate being a walking mat.
Right.
A pushover.
Right.
You do give people grace, but you don't be their food. For certain, two things for sure. Everybody knew who he was and what he stood.
There we go.
And that never changed. That never changed. Whether he was with the homies, he was Jesus. When he was with the enemies, he was Jesus. When he was sitting at the table with the whores and the whoremongers and the alcoholics, he was Jesus.
All the time. Never changed.
Never changed.
Never changed. Girl, Let's talk about your business.
Yeah, because I will go all day.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh, my
Anyway,
business.
girl,
Ah,
that stuff gets me riled up. It gets me riled up. But anyway, tell us about your business real quick.
well, the name is Asili Nzuri, which is Swahili for naturally beautiful.
Mm.
We make chemical-free hair and skincare products. It is safe for anybody with hair and with skin. And anybody. You know, I people ask me all the time, can I use this on my baby? Does your baby have
Skip.
hair and skin? And it initially came about like my flagship products, my products for eczema for my oldest grandson. I don't know about now, and I'm only 25. I ain't gonna slip up and tell me this. But when you go to school for cosmetology, a lot of people don't realize it's deeper than styling hair. There's a lot of chemistry and science involved, or what have you. So I took what I knew, as well as my newfound love and understanding of using natural holistic remedies to solve a lot of issues that and they're made by hand in America by me. 30 plus years of experience in this thing or whatever. They're not sitting on shelves.
Back up. 30 plus years of experience, but you 25.
Yeah.
Okay. Make it make sense. Go ahead.
You just gotta go with it. You just gotta go with it. I absolutely love it. And I always knew whatever career I chose, I wanted to do something to help people. Through my products, I am helping people. It's not in the area that I thought it would be in. But 3 years ago on my birthday, a baby came up to me in church and on my birthday. So it was a wonderful gift. And I didn't recognize him because he had issues with his skin so severe, like his hands and his face and his neck. He always wore a little hood. They picked on him in school and things like that. And so I'm leaving church and like it's a big crowd. Everybody's trying to tell me happy birthday. And I hear this, Miss Pam, look at my skin. And he was just glowing and he was so beautiful. So like I've got some bomb birthday gifts, but that one, absolute best. You know, he didn't have the hood pulled down, or he would pull his sleeves like over his hands or what have you. Yes, we make great money, but it's definitely not about the money. It's about changing lives. It's about building up those confidences and quenching those insecurities or whatever. And so when I talk to people, Asili Nzuri means natural beauty, naturally beautiful, but we focus on the inner person, you know, and so they can meet, you know, you, because again, it's about building the relationships, not just getting the money or making the quick sale.
Right.
And I check back on them and I know the products are going to work, but how are you?
How are you? Right.
And
You do what God gives you to do, that is not about the money, right? And what I love about that is because God is a supplier of needs, right?
yes,
So we need, as business owners and entrepreneurs and whatever, we need income, correct?
yes.
But those people who are our clients, they have a need as well. And here it is, God has created a win across the board. It's the whole giving and receiving. Receiving is the reciprocal of giving. So it's just kind of like when you have that mindset, it was like, oh, I'm going to give these people some solutions. I'm going to give these people, you know, by way of a service or whatever. And in return, you get compensated. So yes, in essence, you're not doing it for the money. Money is just the byproduct of you being, again, obedient to what God is telling you to do, because he only wants to make sure everybody's needs are met, right? And I love that. And the second thing was, that's something else that we have in common. I went to hair school. I graduated from hair school. And I didn't know that you went to hair school.
long time ago.
Go, right? Many moves, many moves.
Yeah, and that's crazy because there and again, um, Asili, Nzuri is not my first business, but it's my first customer like product based business, and I never intended to be. My
Right.
initial intention was to create a product to help my grandbaby with his skin, and he went to kindergarten. He told all the little kids, well, his Nana Pam fixed his eczema.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth, and it just grew. We've not stopped yet. There's like full steam ahead, and like I'm looking around like, wow, like it's just amazing. Like it just makes my heart smile. That is like the absolute best. It makes everything else worthwhile because has it been easy? No. Is every customer my ideal customer? No, but I have no issue. I have no issue refunding money.
None. Because again, it's just like, listen, God blessed me. You ain't gonna break me. Okay. He
No,
blessed me, you ain't gonna break me. And that's it.
no,
That's it.
no.
And that's all.
That's it, and that's all. I'm loving the journey.
Yes. It's like I'm out here like God, you gotta show up because I'm out here because of you. You know what I mean? Because if it was up to me, I would be in the background somewhere, but
Cheering on all the other homies. And that's what I used to do. Like I would get ideas would come and I would call this person, here's a business idea, go. Here's the business idea, go. You should do this. You need to be doing that. And me, I'm just gonna be in the background and I'm gonna cheer everybody on. And then I reap the benefits of being a supportive friend. Like
yeah.
you get the big
In closing this out, and my next to my last question is what makes you a superwoman?
get up every day. And that in and of itself makes me a superwoman. Like I said, I've been through a lot. In June, it'll be 3 years where I lost my son.
Right.
And honestly, when I got that phone call, I'm like, this is it. I can't take no more. I can't go any further. This is it. God, you have tested me too far this time.
Mm.
And this is my real conversation with him. Like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
But the next morning after I got the phone call, I got up. I fixed my grandbaby's breakfast. I held my daughter. I loved on my husband and my family. And that's genuine. That meets my face. I get up no matter what I feel like.
And you don't got on my nerves today. Yes. Listen, that is the summation of a superwoman. I've been talking about the difference between being a superwoman and having superwoman syndrome. And a lot of people confuse the two because it's easy to do that. But what separates the two is superwoman syndrome comes from an egoic space. You trying to show people what you got, you trying to accomplish this, you overly ambitious, you overachieving, all of that stuff. But being a superwoman, and that's my whole argument. Being a superwoman, life comes, or situations in life come, the enemy of our good comes to beat our ass. And we stand up and fight back. We rise up to the occasion. That is a superwoman. The woman who, like you said, continues to get back up. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got up and I put a smile on my face. It's not about pretending. It's not about just acting like nothing bothers me or whatever. It's that knowing, like, listen, this fight was brought to me. I didn't go start this fight. I've got to finish this fight because I'm going to finish the fight. That is a woman, right, girl? You don't drop the mic. You don't. You got me over here like but
and it's like if you say, Pam, how do you? I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm tired, Father. I'm not strong. I don't know what to do next.
There you go. There you
So
go.
what you gonna do? Like I might, because I'm human, something might happen and I'll start freaking out. This is the human thing to do. And I'm like, wait a minute.
What you
Okay,
gonna
what you
do?
gonna do?
What you gonna do?
When my son passed, I was getting it all the time. Oh my God, you're so strong. I couldn't do that. I still have a family. I still have a daughter. I have grandsons that don't have a father. I have no choice, but I'm not doing it in my own might, and I'm not doing it in my own strength. Like, and, it's crazy because even looking back, and I don't want to spend too much time on losing my son, but you hear a lot of people say when bad things happen, they question God or they get angry at God. It never came. And I waited on that moment to be mad at God. I was mad at my son.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely mad at my son. But it never came. And I'm like, what choice do I have? What else do I have? Because in life, the people, if you put all your trust and all your faith in people because they are people, they are gonna fail you.
Right.
They are gonna let you down. And so when I make statements like I lean on me and I trust in me, it's who's in me that I'm speaking on.
Right.
He's gonna be there regardless. Even when I don't show up for myself, he's gonna show up on my behalf. And when I'm tired and when I'm weak, he just gives me that strength and carries me on. And so if I were to take the credit for being a superwoman, that would be it, but I don't. My only thing I can take credit for is being obedient.
Like we said, or like he said to me, you get the recognition, he gets the glory. Okay. People recognize you as a superwoman in the positive nature that it is, like, being that overcomer, being that woman who continues to get up, like, you know what I'm saying? And so Pamela Taylor Platt, y'all gotta follow her on social media. Where can they find you on social media?
Asili, Nzuri and Friends is my business group. That's where all the nitty gritty goes down, and I named it Asili, Nzuri and Friends because, like I said earlier, my customers, a customer is somebody you sell a product to. A client is somebody you build a relationship with. They ask about products. We do games, prizes, raffles, birthday giveaways, but it's a safe place. And everybody needs one. And I try my best to provide it for my customers. Asili Nzuri is our official Facebook page. So we'll post products and sales, and that's where the reviews are. So that's where you can find me on Facebook.
Right.
I don't just Pamela the CEO and Pamela the homie,
The homie.
So,
The homie. That's funny because when my daughter was asking me, who you interviewing today? I said, oh, one of my homies.
Yeah, I'm old school.
Like, one of my homies today is one of my homies, my homie Pam. And so it was funny that you said, well, I'm be the homie,
Yeah.
And you was definitely the homie on your page.
Yeah, I could have.
You cut up. You cut up. And so, listen, I want to thank you for coming and sharing, being transparent. And I didn't want to poke or prod, but I'm glad that you talked about the situation with the loss of your son, like, because that was a lot. Like, that was a lot, but like you said, by the grace of God, right? And so, Superwoman, listen, I don't know about y'all, but I completely enjoyed this time with Pam today. Follow her. She just told you what her group is. You definitely want to look into the products that she's offering. They're actually good. I'm one of her customers, clients.
For life. We have relationships for life. Like, they call themselves, I don't, but my customers have deemed themselves Asili Nzuri addicts.
Exactly.
Customers for life.
I would even just buy her products to give to other people. Like, go check her out. And even if you don't get one of her products, which you definitely should, just being around her vibe, like it'll bless you. I'm telling you. So go check her out, check out her group, all of that good stuff. And thank you again, Pam.
Thank you.
Superwoman, thank you for being here. Come back next Wednesday. We've got another Superwoman from somewhere around the world coming to share her Superwoman story with us because we need to be inspired. We need to be encouraged to stay our course, stay on our path, and get where we got to be so we can, do what we got to do so we can get where we got to be. So next Wednesday, Superwoman. Bye for now.